My name is Dr. Segun Musa. I'm the Group Managing Director, White Scope Group of Company, and also the Chief Consultant for Global Transport Policy. I've been in the industry for 35 years. I run an international company with offices in 4 continents of the world. We are into cargo supply chain management and logistics. We're into travels and tours. We're into air support services. We have an academy called Global Transport Policy Academy. We are into media. We have a TV station that is coming up shortly. We have a radio station coming up shortly. And we also have a magazine that we are waiting for the 3rd edition. We are waiting for the 4th edition of our bilingual magazine, and we are also consultants. We're into other subsidiaries.
All right, sir. We want to look at African continental free trade area. Nothing much is being heard about this arrangement, and judging from what it ought to be or what it has come to be or to do for Africa, let's say the aim is to enable the free flow of goods and services across continent and to boost trading positions, all right? And as part of its mandate, the African free trade is to eliminate trade barriers and boost intra-African trades. Sir, do you think that this is being achieved?
Yes, thank you very much. I've actually granted several interviews on this AfCFTA, and interestingly, I have more than 3 interviews on Channels TV alone on this AfCFTA. It will interest you to know that this is not the first time Nigeria will be frustrating such a laudable projection. Africa continental free trade area, you're actually referring to an economy, like you said earlier on, that will rapidly promote trade integration within Africa. And from all facts and figures, the AfCFTA supposed to be the largest economy in the entire world, thinking of the population and thinking of the capacity in Africa. And we are expected as a big economy to also be an active player in terms of trade integration within the African continent. But unfortunately, Nigeria is not prepared for it. And if you look at all the advocacy and all the discussions that have been going on AfCFTA, you only see what I call motion without movement. And when you have a motion without movement, it's as good as we are just joking about it. I've never seen any seriousness on the part of the government. I'm seeing governments like more frustrating the essence of that agreement. If you look at every part of the world, a lot of people are making frantic effort. Even from before the signature and before the agreement, a lot of people are already prepared. There has been a lot of trade integration within most of the African countries. Continental trade integration. It's only in Nigeria that has always isolated itself from most of these lofty ideas. I remember vividly at the time we signed a regional agreement on CET, Common External Tariff, that allows effective trade integration within the region of ECOWAS. And the essence of that CET is, if I'm bringing any import from any part of the world, I can drop it in any ECOWAS state, do my custom documentation, my clearance, pay my revenue there, and ECOWAS custom reconcile. And at the end of the day, all I need to do, once it has been released, I just truck it from the country down to the Nigeria border and deliver, and nobody checks. When I get to the Nigeria border, they will only check the system to see the country where it landed, how much has been paid, what is the record of inspection. That's the only thing. And they allow the vessel for final delivery, which is applicable in virtually every part around the world, even in Europe, even in China. And that's the essence of this Africa free trade agreement as well. Let there be a free flow of trading activities without any barrier, so as to develop the continent faster, like Europe, like Asia, and other parts of the world. And when this came into limelight, Nigeria showed that they are not actually prepared. By number one, we don't have the infrastructure that will enhance production. Because when you want to go into trading activities, you must also have capacity for production. When you don't have capacity for production, you will not have anything to trade. When you don't have capacity for production, you will not have anything to trade. And the essence is, you must have a product that you are bringing to the market. So the problem we have in Nigeria is, number one, we don't have capacity that we can call a comparative advantage that will position us to be trading within that confine and any income. The only thing we can do under this agreement is we can only buy. We cannot trade because we don't have the capacity for export consumption. All our products, as far as Nigeria is concerned, have not satisfied our local consumption. And if you have not satisfied local consumption, for you to migrate to export consumption is suicidal. It will spell doom because the inflation will skyrocket. So because we don't have what to trade, what is left to us is to frustrate that initiative. And that is exactly what Nigeria is doing now. I give a very good instance. During the last administration, there was a time the government shut down all the borders. I said Nigeria has capacity to produce rice and meal rice, and we can rice more than enough to satisfy local consumption. I think as a then I was the lone voice that criticized the government. I said, look, it's all fallacy, it's a propaganda. Nigeria does not have that such capacity. What Nigeria has as capacity is, even in the days that Nigeria has potential for agriculture, we still import rice. The day that we have huge potential for agriculture, we still import rice. You remember we used to import Uncle Ben's, we used to import so many brand of rice that we used to import. Even when we have capacity for farming, we have countries that are industrialized. Even if it's ordinary raw material that we can contribute to those industrial nations, we are trading. So Nigeria must be able to look inward and see, do we have raw material we can develop as to feed most of these industrial nations? That's the way we're supposed to be thinking. If we are not industrialized, but we have industrial nations that are not getting enough raw materials, we should be able to look inward and say, okay, if we want to start building industry now, it might take a longer time. While we are thinking of how to industrialize Nigeria, can we start doing a raw material as a kind of feeder to all these industrial nations? Because the platform has created the room for everybody to trade. Either you are industrial or you are raw material. And it has actually exposed Nigeria that we don't have any commodity we can call our brand. Recently, in a shameful way, the Export Promotion Council and the custom and the rest of them, they call the media and say they are exporting 2 or 3 containers into African continental trade. It is shameful. It is laughable. It is laughable.
Do you think the Abuja MOU has helped in the implementation of AfCFTA?
No, Abuja MOU will not help anything. The reality is what we have. Regardless of your MOU, if it does not transform into reality, it's remain a document. So all we need to do is for government to be able to know our SWOT analysis. It's only in Nigeria here that we don't even know our SWOT analysis. We don't know our strength. We don't know our weakness. We don't know our threats. We don't know our opportunities. We should be able to analyze our SWOT analysis so as to be able to have concentration in areas where we have capacity. So if you don't know where you have capacity, you just be floating with propaganda. At a stage, we were like producing tires. But because government frustrated those plantations, the whole thing died, and we are not producing any rubber again. So Michelin has to move out of Nigeria. Dunlop move out of Nigeria. So we later became import country, where we already have comparative advantage over. That all we needed to do is to put more incentives, give more capacity to expand and grow it. If you are traveling between Ghana and Abidjan, you see very vast land of plantations. That is to show seriousness. Here, all area that we should have turned to plantation has become an hideout for criminals. It shows government do not have an agenda, do not prioritize, do not have scale of preference of what to develop. And it is laughable when a presidential candidate engage Chamber of Commerce, manufacturing associations during electionary period, and the kind of question they ask is ridiculous. None of them will be able to ask any practical question. It is shameful. I do see most of those debates, and I look at Chamber of Commerce supposed to be a technical platform, advocacy, that's supposed to be very versatile in practical and technical engagement. But they will never ask questions that whoever is emerging will be able to provide convincing response. That once I emerged, you begin to see rapid development. And if I'm not channeling resources towards there, you can question me. You see, when you think about presidential debate, which concerns me more, it must be highly technical. Whoever is going to emerge and superintend over a country like Nigeria must be wide in knowledge. Whether we like it or not, that person must be wide in knowledge in every aspect. You must have an idea, and not just a minor idea. You must have a cogent idea that you'll be able to convince whoever is listening to you that you know what you want to go and do there. Not that when you get there, you start nominating whoever is going to do on your behalf. You must have an idea, so whoever you are bringing on board will not be able to call a wood a stone for you. We all remember the days of Bola Ige, when he became, of blessed memory, when he became the Minister for Energy, and they took him to one of these power stations, and they showed him a furnace, calling a furnace a generator. And the guy came out addressing press and saying, "I've seen the generator, and with what I've seen, we're going to turn stone to bread. And within a shortest time, we have uninterrupted power supply." At the end of the day, the guy was disappointed because the people he thought are feeding him with the right information gave him false information because he does not have an idea about it. So whoever is going to superintend over a very sensitive nation like Nigeria